with your next class. In today's class, we are going to discuss a new chapter, that is cell, the unit of life. Okay, so all of you know that living organisms, we are called living because we possess the functional and structural unit of life, that is cell. Anything that possesses cell is considered living, otherwise would be considered non-living. Okay, because cell is the only entity that has independent existence, okay, that can survive on its own by performing certain metabolic processes or reactions. All right, so in that case, anything that possesses cell is living, otherwise would be considered non-living. That's a very important thing for you to remember. All right, now regarding cell, in this chapter we are going to discuss cell in details. Okay, now mainly by cell what I mean are the two types of cell, prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. So we will be discussing prokaryotic cell and its structure in details. Likewise, next we'll discuss eukaryotic cell and all the structures associated with it in details. That's what this chapter is all about. Okay, so today let us start with certain important discoveries associated with cell. Okay, so see here, cell is the structural and functional unit of life, and the branch of science that deals with the study of cell is called cell biology or cytology. Alright, now important discoveries in cytology or in cell biology are: first, Robert Hooke. He is credited with the discovery of cell. Okay, so who discovered cell is Robert Hooke. Alright, so Robert Hooke, how he discovered cell is accidentally. Okay, so he took a thin slice of cork and then he started to study it under the microscope. So under the microscope, while he was studying that thin slice of cork, he would see certain honeycomb like structure like this. Like this. Alright, so this honeycomb like structure, in this honeycomb like structure, these minute structures were looking like compartments or small rooms, and small rooms, so he called these small compartments to be cellulae. Today we call them cell. Okay, but Robert Hooke, he did not observe a living cell. Do remember, in a thin slice of cork, all the cells that he observed were dead cells, isn't it? And he thought maybe these are passages through which fluid is conducted inside the plant body. But later on, it was Anton van Leeuwenhoek who for the first time observed a living cell. Alright, so see here, he took a slice of cork and observed it under the microscope. It was found to have a honeycomb-like structure with number of box-like compartments. These compartments were named as cellulae or small room. Today we call it the cell. Alright. Now, Anton van Leeuwenhoek is next, who first observed the living cell. Alright. Next important discovery is by Robert Brown. Robert Brown has discovered a very essential part of the cell, rather the most important part of the cell, that is nucleus. Alright. Robert Hooke discovered cell, Robert Brown nucleus. Alright, don't get confused in that. Dujardin, he discovered living matter, that is the semi-fluid matrix present inside the cell, but he called it to be sarcode. Okay, today of course we do not call it sarcode, we call it, the living matter is known as protoplasm, isn't it? So see here, Purkinje and von Moll, they renamed sarcode into protoplasm. Alright, next, Schwann, as in Theodor Schwann, he discovered the cell membrane, and Nageli and Kremer, they coined the term cell membrane. It was discovered by Schwann, but the term was given by Nageli and Kremer. Alright, so these are some very important discoveries in the field of cytology or cell biology. Now let us move on to a very important part of this chapter, that is cell theory. It's very important for your exam as well. Alright, now what is cell theory? You see, in around 1838, there was this German botanist called Malthius Kleden. Okay, he was observing various types of plant specimen under the microscope, and finally, after all his studies and observations, he concluded that all plants are made up of cell. Around at the same time, in around 1839, there was this British zoologist, that is Theodore Swan. Okay, now Theodore Swan, he was observing various animal specimen under the microscope. Okay, and he also drew a similar conclusion that all animals are made up of cell. Not only that, he also observed a marked difference between the animal and plant cell, that in the animal cell, the outermost membranous thing that is present, that he already discovered as the cell membrane, isn't it? So he found that animal cells on the outer end possesses a membranous structure that's called the cell membrane, but plant cells, they possess an additional layer that's called the cell wall. So cell wall is only present in plants but not in animals. This was also marked by Theodore Swan. Alright. So basically, Malthius Kleden and Theodore Swan, they were observing various types of plant and animal specimen, and they were trying to understand more and more regarding the cell. So after they had gathered enough information regarding the cell, what they did is they together united their work and formulated together a theory that came to be known as the cell theory. So cell theory is a kind of joint effort that was put forward by both Malthius Kleden and Theodore Swan. Together they formed, or they proposed, the cell theory. Alright. Now, what is cell theory all about? Cell theory is all about certain important basic characteristics of the cell that has been presented theoretically. That means in the form of a theory, the basic general characteristics of the cells which were which were drawn as conclusion by Malthius Kleden and Swan, they were put together in the form of a theory, hence cell theory. Alright. So cell theory consists of these 4 facts or postulates. Alright. So they are: all living organisms are made up of cell and their products. Alright. Next, each cell is made up of small mass of protoplasm containing a nucleus inside and cell membrane outside. Cell wall is only present in plants. Alright. Next, all cells are basically alike in the chemistry and physiology. That means biochemically and physiologically, all the cells, be it belonging to a plant or belonging to an animal, will be the same. Alright. Finally, the 4th statement is that activities of an organism is the sum total of activities of its constituent cells. So, when in case of multicellular organism, there are numerous cells present to form the body, isn't it? Now, whatever function is done by that organism is actually the function done by its constituent cells. Okay, sum total of functions done by its constituent cells. Alright, so these are very important generalizations or very important characteristics that were observed by Malthius Kleden and Theodore Swan after they observed various samples of organisms and their cells. Fine. So this was cell theory. But then here comes a very important thing for you to remember. Cell theory had a very important drawback as well. Okay, cell theory has a drawback. So what is the drawback? Neither Malthius Kleden nor Theodore Swan could suggest anything regarding the origin of cell. That means cell theory tells us so many things about a cell, but it does not tell us from where does a new cell arise. Alright. So origin of cell being not being able to explain by the cell theory, that becomes a big drawback of the cell theory, and because of which it was incomplete. Fine. Now, later on in 1855, another scientist called Rudolf Virchow, he solved this problem. He for the first time suggested the origin of cell by saying that all cells arise from pre-existing cell, okay, which is also termed as omnis cellulae cellula. Okay, all cells arise from pre-existing cells. So when this particular statement was added to the cell theory, now finally the cell theory got its final shape, and then it came to be known as modern cell theory or cell principle. Okay, do remember, omni celluli cellula, or all cells arise from pre-existing cells. This statement is also known as theory of cell lineage. Alright, so that's all for today's class. I hope all of you are clear about it. In the next class, we'll start with prokaryotic cell and its structuring details.